because that's the other aspect is that there was classes given on sexism and equal opportunity. So it would hopefully diminish a lot of racism. Homosexuals, I ran into a couple homosexuals in the Army, and I've met women and other people in the Navy who are homosexual, and I'm sure there's others. And anybody who's been in the military, they can attest to that. There is nothing wrong with people who are homosexual, and some are flamboyant, and I ran into some flamboyant people in the military, and it's questionable their sexuality sometimes, but there is nothing different, and it would be recognized, and the idea that because somebody's born different, which is race, which is gender, which is sexual identity, you should not treat somebody different. That's the other problem I see in America. Now, I know this idea kind of probably doesn't jive exactly with what the Founding Fathers had in mind for the United States and for the public, but I think that at the time, what they were looking at was if you have money, you can pay for a military, and that's kind of that's what's been done over the years, and the difference was that back in those days, people wanted to join the military because that was a good, stable, steady income. It was respectable, it was honorable, and the nations of the world were, Britain was using German mercenaries. So that leads to the problem of, that blood equates money, and you should not have that. You should not have this idea that, well, if we're going to go to war, it's just a matter of how much money are you willing to spend. It should be more of, if you're going to go to war, how much of the nation's youth are you willing to have die on you? And in my opinion, that is, the question needs to be that serious. Because, if the nation realizes we can't, just willy-nilly have our nation's youth die on us, then, we're going to see a great big change in just the economic policies and of the United States, which in my opinion, would be a good thing. The other advantage is that any questions or doubt about the military might of the United States would greatly be put to rest. And they talk about how any nation that if they try to invade the United States, they realize that they just would not be able to hold any land and territory because partisan forces would just rise up. Red Dawn was dead on that. You would just see any community that an occupier came into, just the people would militarize and just give them hell. There would just be no rest and no peace. Now reinforce that with the idea that, well, guess what? Now all of the citizens, male and female, have been trained to fight in the military, and the superiority of the American citizen would just be paramount now in everybody's minds. But at the same time, a lot of people understand that there's use of force and there's control of force. And the better person is the person that knows when to control that force. They know when to be violent and when not to be violent. That's something that basically people would learn and realize serving in the military. So that's my idea. I'll probably have more, but